Yo guys, it is Captain Thorpe here, and today there's been some big breaking news that Chelsea have signed Timo Werner, despite being linked very closely with Liverpool for the last few weeks. And the reason, I can't believe I'm saying this, the reason that Liverpool didn't manage to get Werner is not that he didn't want to come, it's that we wouldn't pay the £54 million release clause, we wouldn't go above 30 million. I'm sorry, but I'm not being funny. That is absolutely insane. How can we look at a player of Timo Werner's quality, who I'd value more, closer to 80 to 100 million pounds, see a 54 million pound release clause and not pay it? There's nothing stingier than that. I've never seen anything like that in my life. That is unbelievable. He's the second top scorer in the Bundesliga. I've been watching the Bundesliga the last few weeks now, and he's incredible. He's world class, and we desperately need that fourth world class attacker. If we're going to have the depth to win both the Premier League and the Champions League next season, because that's the next step. We've won them both now. Now, the next step is win them both together. We need that fourth attacker, because otherwise we don't have the squad depth in attack. Obviously, we've got Origi and Shaqiri as backup. Shaqiri's been injured a lot this season anyway. And they are quality players, but they're not good enough. They're not good enough to be the world-class attackers we need to back up the front three. Divock Origi is great for the last 20 minutes. You bring him off the bench and he will potentially score a goal because he has got quality. Shaqiri, we know from his first 6 months at the club, he's got a lot of quality, but they're not world-class. As much as I love them, they're not world-class. We need that extra attacker. Timo Werner will be absolutely perfect. And this is what frustrates me the most, is Werner is the perfect player. He's the best option available. If you look at who else is available, Jadon Sancho, double the price for a player who I don't think is even as good as Werner. Look, I still love it if we signed him, but Werner's a better deal. He's a better player. Okay, he's a few years older. Werner's 24, but they're both young players. But Werner's available for £50 million. How have we thrown that away? It's unbelievable. It's incredibly stingy from FSG. And if you look at what happened last summer, we didn't buy anyone last summer as well, and that worked, to be fair, because we still managed to walk away with the Premier League. It worked last season, but this season the rivals are getting stronger. Look at Chelsea's front line now. They've signed Ziyech for about 37 million, which is a good deal. They've signed Timo Werner now, obviously. They've already got Pulisic from January. And they might even get Coutinho, which, as much as I don't think we should buy Coutinho, he's another brilliant player, and he's Premier League proven. Chelsea's attack is going to be unstoppable next season. The midfield of Kovacic and Jorginho or Kante, wow. And the youth prospects they've got as well, they are going to be some threat next season. And United, they'll be a threat as well. Obviously, City will be a threat. We won't wrap up the league as easily next season if we don't strengthen like our rivals are doing. Look at United have signed Bruno Fernandes in January. Obviously, City will spend money because they do every year. Look at what Chelsea have done. It's going to be tough next year. And if we don't, and I've heard news that we're not going to sign anyone again, that would mean that we've only signed 2 players in the last 4 windows of any value. And they were only Minamino and Adrian. Apart from youngsters, they're the only players that we've signed in the last 4 windows, which for a team with ambitions of winning the Premier League and the Champions League, it's just not good enough. It's not. And even if we do manage to win the Premier League next year, or even the Champions League next year, it still can end up not being the right decision because we've still missed out on one for the future. He's 24 years old. The front three now will soon be past the best. They're only 27, 28 at the moment, but in 2-3 years' time, they'll be past the best and we'll need to replace them. And we don't want to do that all in one go. That could be a disaster. Start the process now. Look, if it is Klopp's decision, which I really don't think it is, then that does show a lack of man management. Because if he doesn't feel he can keep 4 world-class attackers happy when there's only 3 places in the side, then that's on him. But I really don't think that's the case. I mean, if anything, we could switch to a 4-2-3-1. We've done it before to get Shaqiri in. And we could easily do that to get Werner in and drop Firmino into Cam. But I don't think it's Klopp's decision. I think Klopp wanted him. They were in advanced talks. The reason is FSG were being tight-fisted. And the revenue at the moment must be through the roof. All the TV money we've had over last season. I know there's a coronavirus stuff, but that's been going on for all clubs. Chelsea can still afford it, so why can't we? All the money we'll have got from winning the Premier League, from winning the Champions League the season before, and we still can't spend £54 million on Timo Werner. It's a disgrace. That's a disgrace. That is FSG. You see United fans crying about their owners, the Glazers. Okay, fair enough, most of it's deserved. But look at our owners. We've got one of the lowest net spends from one of the best clubs in the world. But That's only because of Jurgen Klopp. We should be spending a hell of a lot more money. And I'm not saying we need to go and break the bank and buy some defenders and some midfielders that we don't need just for the sake of spending money. But we need Timo Werner. And we've easily got the money. So I don't see why FSG can't stick their hands in their pockets and provide the money for it. £30 million. It's a disgrace. Look, I'm going to sum it up. Our rivals are strengthening. If we're going to win the Premier League and the Champions League, which is the next step, then we need to strengthen our squad. And the only signing we need to make is a backup attacker, because we need attacking depth if we're going to do that. We need that fourth world-class attacker. And the best and cheapest option at £54 million is Timo Werner. He's also young for the rebuild. He's 24 years old. It meets the current philosophy of not just buying potential, but buying players that are currently good and are just about to hit the prime, which he is. He's the perfect signing, but the reason we've not made the signing is because FSG won't pay £54 million. It's as simple as that. They would only pay £30 million, which is, I've never seen anything more tight in my entire life. And for that reason, FSG should be forced out of the club. But hey, what can we do? What can we do about it? It's absolutely nothing we can do. If it's up to me, FSG are out of the club right now. Let me know if you agree with that in the comments. But again, this is the thing, we can cry about it, but there's nothing we can do at the end of the day. We just have to accept it and try and sign someone else. But if they're not going to sign anyone, which is what they've said, we could be in trouble next season. We really could. But hey, let me know if you agree with it in the comments. Leave a like on the video, and I will see you guys soon. But until then, adios.